Welcome to the Lyons Fire District Training Series. This course is a video-based course, so there won't be much reading. It'll take you between 15 and 20 minutes, and the procedures are numbered to go along with the instructions that are provided at the firehouse on the SCBA equipment. So if you're new to using this equipment, it would be a great idea to print out that procedure and have it in hand when you're watching the video. You will find the typical navigation buttons at the bottom left of the screen. You can skip ahead or rewind, whatever meets your needs. I hope you have a great time and you enjoy the video. What is an SCBA? SCBA stands for Self-Contained Breathing Apparatus. A typical system has three components: the air supply, called a tank, bottle, or cylinder, or SCBA, the pressure regulator, and an inhalation connection, such as a mouthpiece or a face mask. These three components are mounted to a frame to be worn like a backpack by the firefighter. In this course, we're going to use the term SCBA to refer to just the tank or the bottle. The cascade refill system has three major components: the compressor, the storage cylinders, and the fill station. The air intake brings in air from outside, filters and purifies it. Then the compressed air goes to the fill station, where it is directed to the yellow storage cylinders. Air is stored at 5,800 psi. Then when you're ready to use the air to fill an SCBA, it goes from the yellow storage cylinders through the fill station into the SCBAs at 4,400 psi.
First thing I want to talk about is just some basic valve works. It doesn't require excess torque. For example, this is the outlet valve. Whether you open or close it when you get to the end, it's just a light twist against there. Don't overdrive it or you'll end up damaging the valve. Alright, so for the fill station procedure, first step is just ensure the emergency stop is off. You would do that just by rotating the knob clockwise and it'll pop out. For example, we shouldn't be using this as a switch, but I'm going to go ahead and hit the emergency stop. So if I rotate it slightly clockwise, it pops out. That's the position that it should be in unless there's some emergency going on. The next thing is we're going to be verifying that the power on button, the white button, is off. If it's up and flush to the face and the light is out, it's in the off position. The last thing we need to check prior to, again, just the basic fill, is verify that the outlet valve for the compressor is open. That should be the standard condition that the compressor is left in for normal operations. Alright, so these are the storage cylinders. This is what we'll fill the SCBAs out of. So one thing we'll do is after we check that the compressor is set, we're going to verify that all four valves on the storage cylinders are closed. Then we're going to move to the actual fill station panel. Okay, then again, just for the pre-setup for the fill station, we have the storage fill valve. We're going to just make sure that's open. Again, light pressure. We're going to verify that the regulator aux fill is closed. Yes. Because we generally don't use the aux fill, we use the containment fill. The next thing we're going to do is verify that the fill valve is closed. Again, light against the stop. And what we're going to do is if there's any residual pressure in the system, we'll go ahead and open the bleed valve and close it. If there was any residual pressure, that would bleed down to zero. The next step is we're going to open the containment. So we rotate the handle down, and it opens up the containment area. What we're going to verify here is that both of the SCBA fill line valves are closed. Again, just to reiterate, closed is clockwise, all the way lightly. Open is counterclockwise. Again, light pressure at the seat. So now we're going to demonstrate filling a couple bottles. You can fill one or two, but we're going to show it filling both of those. So put the bottle in the containment and then connect the bottle. Again, same sort of thing. You know, just a light seat against air. It's an O-ring seal, not a crush seal. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fully open the SCBA bottles. Again, valves fully counterclockwise, lightly against the open seat. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open one valve at a time. And one thing they'll notice is they should see if there's any pressure in the bottles. We'll go ahead and open the other bottle, and you'll hear a little bit of hissing and a change to the pressure as the two bottles equalize. Again, fully open to lightly seat. And at this point, we'll close the containment. The containment basically, if there is a mishap with the bottle, all the fragments will stay in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start filling the bottle. I'm going to go back to bottle number 1. We only fill using one bottle at a time. I'm going to open that up, and this will be my opportunity to see what kind of pressure is in the storage. So I take a look. It's on the order of 6,000 pounds. We regulate to about 5,800 pounds, so that tells me it's a full bottle. And this is my opportunity to verify that the regulator pressure is set. Once it's set, it doesn't need to be changed, so basically don't goon with it, for lack of a better term. Now we're going to go ahead and start filling the SCBA. With that, we'll be easing open the fill. We want to open it up to about 50 psi per second. So, 20 seconds to get 1,000 psi in there. And that's just so we don't overheat the air going in and we don't freeze up any valves on the airline. So we'll ease it open. You'll see it go in. And we'll just gradually fill the bottle. So one of the things I'm seeing is, as I'm opening up the valve, it's creeping up and I'm not getting a full bottle. That's because I have less than 4,500 psi in storage fill. And again, I can't shove any more air in there. So the next step is to close the fill valve, and you have to select a higher pressure bottle. So we'll close the first bottle. Open the second bottle. And we'll essentially use the higher pressure of the subsequent cylinder, not bottle, to boost up the pressure. So again, we'll come back to the front and we'll open up fill. We've got good supply. We're back in the set regulated pressure. And we'll do, again, 50 psi per second fill. And we're regulating at 4,400. So you see, and you can hear the noise, it's basically filled itself. Even though there's high pressure in the supply, it's just not going to take any more, no matter how much I open up the fill. So now the bottle's filled. We're going to close the fill valve, and we're ready to start the sequence to take the bottles out. So again, rotate the handle down to open the containment. And the first thing we're going to have to do is make sure we don't bleed out the air. So we're going to close both SCBA valves. Now that the valves are closed, we need to bleed down the system. So basically I'm watching the SCBA gauge, I'm bleeding it down. Yeah, if you don't bleed the system down, you physically won't be able to disconnect this under pressure. So at this point, it's convenient to go ahead and close the fill line valves. We'll disconnect the SCBAs. And what we'll do is just verify that the gauge itself on the tank is, in our case, reading in the green. If it goes on the storage, back in spare bottle storage, remember to put the cap back on, otherwise mount it on the SCBA pack and put it back in service. And again, at this point, you can put a new set of bottles, but again, you'll always start with the first bottle and you'll step up through the bottles as necessary to top off the pressure. But in this case, we're going to go back to shutting down. Let's just say we head to 2. Throw the lines out of the way. Close containment by rotating the handle up. And one of the things you see there's a little bit of residual pressure. We can open that up and bleed it down. Then we're going to verify that all the storage cylinders are again closed. All right, these are the storage fill cylinders or storage cylinders. Again, it's a cascade machine, so to ensure that we can completely service as many SCBA bottles at a time, the sequence is always start with the first cylinder. You would open it all the way up, again, counterclockwise, lightly to the full open stop. Fill the bottle as high as you can. At that point, you need to get more pressure, so we would close the first bottle. Then open the second bottle. And again, repeat the process. Again, if it doesn't fill, then we would cascade to the third bottle, and then finally to the fourth bottle. If you get to the point you can't fill the bottles, now we have to do fill the storage cylinders. And that'll be the next process. The easy way to figure out what first, second, third, and fourth bottle is, follow the tubing, from the fill station, first bottle, second bottle, third bottle, fourth bottle. So easy, even a pilot can do it.